Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Empowering Voices. Today, I'm wearing, for whoever is not watching but listening to the episode, I'm wearing my t-shirt that says, no matter what. And this is the starting point of our conversation with Connie. Welcome, Connie, to our program. And Connie is a cash flow and business mentor. So she works with money and with women. So the two things often seems not to go together, but Connie will tell us how they can finally match and make magic. Welcome, Connie. Tell us a bit about you, about what you do, and give us hope.
Sure, yeah. So my name's Connie Vanderzen, and I am in the States on the West Coast. And sometimes we have to have a rock bottom moment before we can see that there's a different choice. And so I had a rock bottom moment. And so everything that I do is based on that. And businesses often have it. We just don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'd love to see women be more empowered with their numbers and be more intentional of how they're using their resources. That includes time and money. And that's what I do today, is I help women find that way of being empowered by their numbers by knowing what they want and where they're going. How can money more support them, their lifestyle, their community, and the business that they're growing? And that's all about being sure to look at it and know where you're going, and then use numbers and money to be more impactful. But we have to look. And a lot of the times we're not looking and we're not paying attention. So it's about choosing a new way of doing that.
Yeah, because before we started our official conversation, you were talking about the approach to money, like the approach to any other resource we have around us. And that is an amazing concept. Would you like to tell us?
Sure. Yeah, it's we're sometimes, I think as we were raised, we weren't taught that that money is expandable or that resources are expandable. We take them for granted a little bit. We take for granted the air we breathe until we're in a space where there's a lot of pollution and it's very hard to breathe. Or we take for granted the food until there's like COVID, we had to be more resourceful about how we might get food. Money's the same way. It's something, especially for entrepreneurs, we can go out and create whatever we desire, but we have to pay attention to how we're using it and how we're making it impactful. And so, yeah, it's a resource. And so how would you like to intentionally use that resource? And how would you like to be more grateful for that resource? Because I think that's the key piece for us to turn back our attentions back on to how we're using resources. The key thing is to be more grateful for them. So having a gratitude.
Really right. Yeah, I really like this.
Yes.
In fact, because we tend to see money, and this is not just for women. Often we see money like only, I don't know, a tool or even something dirty, while it's the opposite. Without money, we don't do anything. Sometimes we are even afraid to talk about money, like, oh, come on, I cannot say that I'm working to make money. Why are you working then? That's not called a job, then it's a hobby, right? And so all these limits, of course, they don't create this abundance mindset, but the scarcity one. Of course, I believe in affirmations, in the power of word, in the habit to change our mindset. So, of course, about money counts a lot. Yes. And I had to work hard on myself, because culturally, I come from the south of Italy. And of course, I mean, it's the man who provides, is the man who knows how to manage money. It wasn't easy. It took time, but it's possible. And the good thing is that we have people like you who can help.
Yeah. Right? And I think also for people to realize that this is all in our DNA. This is how we were raised. And so if you've come to this moment and like, I'm not sure that I can change this. It's all about choice. And that's a very powerful thing that we all have. If something is not working in our life right now, we have the power to make a different choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the one step you can do is just start a gratitude practice around money. Every little bit of money that comes in, how can you show some gratitude around it? Even the penny you might pick up on the street,
Mm-hmm.
showing some love and gratitude towards that. And then you will become more empowered. You'll see more abundance. And then you're starting to shift your mindset around that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why the affirmations on your shirts are so important. And that's one way of doing it too.
Yeah, in fact, I have to make one exactly about money. You know, I have to use the word money because it creates some problems sometimes to use this word. That in itself, it's a beautiful word, actually, if you take it like the sounds of the word. I was reading on your website, and you say sometimes we look at our bank account and we wonder why there's no money if we are working and making money. Do you want to tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, well, I think, again, it comes from how we were raised. A lot of us were raised in families that were paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. So we would just make enough. In fact, that was some subconscious belief I had, and I would keep saying that I just wanted a business that made enough, that covered the bills. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I would create. And so then we get into that scarcity mindset, is that there's not that cushion there. Mm-hmm. And some of us were raised not to enjoy having that cushion there. And so how can we make a different choice and be more abundant with money? Is easily one thing you can do is create a savings account, and for any dollar that you receive, whether it's as a wage or in your business, set aside 0.5% to 3% of everything you receive into that account, so that you start creating a having account, that it's okay to have money and let it support you. Yeah. And then you won't constantly be in that scarcity mindset every time you look at the bank account. But yeah, there's a flow to money, and to understand how that works and create some space in there for you is really important.
Yeah, and that's why we need you to explain to us. I remember once someone said, it was a coach anyway, he was asking, how much money do you want to make this month? And I said, you know what, but I don't need money. I have food on my table. I have everything I need. She said, this is a lie. And it is a lie. You can always have, and it's not just luxury, right? Whatever is your why. I want to help the world, or I want to help my family. You still need money. So you need to find a way to make money, but also to save, and have that bucket on the side where you can take and use and enjoy, basically. Yeah. Because you are not made only to survive in this life, right?
Right. And so, yeah, if you're in that space, I was in that space, our vision of how to use money was small. Mm-hmm. We were just playing to keep ourselves small. And you find that's a lot for the generation that's our mother's generation and our grandmother's generation, is that they just needed enough. And so then as we watch them age, we're also watching them suffer a little bit more, because there's not enough resources for them to live, because women are going to live longer than men. Mm-hmm. And so we weren't taught to save for that future day. And we weren't taught to save so that we could create big impact in our communities. And so have a bigger vision. It's not just about things, like you said, it's not about luxury. If that's your thing, great, but it could be about the impact. It could be about things that you're going to make changes for. So dream bigger when it comes to money. It's just a dream, and it's just your dream. There's no right or wrong to it, I think.
Exactly. Every situation is so unique. We are all different, and also the quantities, no? Because sometimes to say a quantity, I don't know, if I say I want to make 1 million this month, for someone else to make, 10,000 is enough. Yeah. So we are different. There isn't, as you said, the right or wrong answer.
Oh. And again, it's a resource. So I think that the key thing is, a lot of people, another key thing is people just pick numbers out of the air that they want to create because it sounds good, or they're in a community that's all making 10,000 or 6 figures.
Yeah.
But how do you want to use it? I think that's the piece, is that I start usually from the expense side of how is it going to support your lifestyle? How is it going to create the business that you want to
So the other way around, you get shocked totally. You say, oh, wait a second, I'm spending more than what I'm making actually, right?
And again, that can be a little painful. So using somebody that's not emotionally attached to what you're creating, but that can hold that container for you and do all the things, the taxes, the savings, and paying yourself at what you need and all of that. So the business or whatever you're doing, whatever you're going to create can support what that vision is. And I call it a map. If you were going to go from one part of the country to the other part, you would need to some type of roadmap from A to B. But you're going to take detours. You're going to like go to the farm stand or but it's a guideline. And that's what the budget or that financial plan is. It's just a guideline, but you have to know where you're going. So that your dream can hold that container.
Yeah, actually, one thing that many businesses starting are never told is to have this guideline.
Yeah.
Or at least a guideline where you know that, I mean, I don't like to talk about failure, but you can have detours, as you said, because it's always possible in life, right? Life happens and we have to consider it. And we can never think to go from A to B in a straight line. But we need a guideline because it's our why. It's a bit like our mission written somewhere, because otherwise we get lost. And of course, a person like you takes us on the right track all the time. But I would like to have you behind my back all the time, but maybe you can teach us how to do it and then leave us going with our own feet. I suppose that is what you do.
Yeah.
Give a guidance. Yeah. That's
just
great.
Just a little guidance. And people they don't need, but it is helpful to have like the affirmations or that vision around so that you keep touching back into what you're creating. Because even when you do get the bare bones of what you need, there's going to be moments where it's going to be easier to go back to your comfort couch and ignore the situation. Anytime you're making a big mindset change, you're going to have that place where that why in the road where like, oh, I'm going to go back here and go back to ignorance.
Yeah.
So remember to keep your vision really clear, and whether you're using t-shirts or vision boards or something that you have a reminder of what you're working.
A constant reminder. Yeah, it's totally right. We are exactly on the same wavelength on here. I needed a visual one all the time. And then, of course, a coach and a mentor is the one that says, hey, you just got out of track, go back, put on your t-shirt and remember what you said to grow.
Yeah, nice.
And I just wanted to ask you if there is actually an affirmation that a quote that can be a bit the guide for what you do, for your why.
Yeah, my why. It's funny is that I guess the one is and I borrow this from a financial company that I often work here in the States, Modernist Financial. It's believe in plenty, believe in enough. Mm-hmm. And so I think that really every time I see that quote, it reminds me that there is abundance and that there is enough out there. I just have to make a request and keep that vision alive to go for it. But yes, it's out there, but are you willing to choose that? I think is the key. Yeah.
Excellent. I really like this quote. Actually, it tells us that there's enough, but you have to work to get there. Right?
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, thank you. I really feel super motivated now. I'm going to write my affirmations and create this t-shirt about money. Definitely. It's time now. Thanks a lot for being with us. It's been eye-opening. I just want to remind everyone that Connie's details will be in the post, in my bio, on my website, on the YouTube channel, on the post, everywhere. You cannot miss her, and you need her. I bet that you need her if you are starting a business, especially, but also, I suppose, in the everyday life. So thanks a lot, Connie, for being with us, and see you, everyone else, in the next episode. Bye.
Thanks.